पे should be to not be at the margin, and so I was misled into believing that I did well when actually I did not. So then what happened that 2019 mein, as soon as the results of prelims came, I opened the PDF and I did not find my name. So I was pretty disappointed and I called up my mother, and she said, just pack your bags and come back home. So शाम को 4 बजे रिजल्ट आया, and I think by 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. I had packed all my bags, left the room and came back home. And that is when I started realizing what all things I had been doing wrong. For example, for the first time, I took out the book list available on Google. That book list is like common for everyone. और वो बुक लिस्ट में जो भी बेसिक बुक्स हैं और बेसिक 11-12 की NCERTs हैं वो मैंने अपने टेबल पे रखी, एंड आई स्टार्टेड प्रिपेयरिंग विद दैट. सो द मिस्टेक आई वॉज डूइंग तब से वॉज दैट आई वॉज नोज डाइविंग. जो भी मटीरियल मुझे मिल रहा है, आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग इट without reading the basic books, and I used to feel that NCERTs though why should I read NCERTs are for school kids. But no, you have to read your NCERTs. So one thing here, as sir said, what all I referred to is that I started referring to the basic books and I started simplifying my preparation. The more complicated you make it, it is going to be very tough, because during the exam you cannot go through so many material at one point of time. आपको अपनी प्रिपरेशन जितना सिंपल हो पाए उतना सिंपल रखना है, जितनी कम बुक्स हो पाए उतना कम बुक्स रेफर करना है, and whatever suits you the best. So that's it, and I think now I'll open the stage for questions.
So guys, raise your hands.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, I do aspire to be an IFS officer. So I just want to know that what compelled or motivated you to choose IFS over IS, because you secured a great rank and you could have become an IS too. So I'm like, why you chose IFS?
Okay, great. I should have addressed this in my speech only. What's your name?
Jagriti Pal.
Okay, Jagriti. So yeah, that's one good question, and I think I'll address it in detail also later sometime.
और गूगल में सबसे ज्यादा यही सर्च होता है, व्हाई अपाला मैम हैज सेलेक्टेड दिस.
That is one thing I need to like separately अच्छे से बताना पड़ेगा. But in a brief answer, please sit down. Briefly अगर मैं बोलूँ तो IFS के बारे में I'll tell you all a little bit. IFS is a job which I found very, very interesting, because firstly I really liked reading about international relations. There are so many ups and downs and twists and turns, and just the fact to be there in the ministry and know what is going on and what is India thinking before doing some move, that really मुझे बहुत interesting लगता था ये. And you know, right now when I am in the ministry and working with divisions and we discuss what is going to be in the news headline tomorrow, so in the IFS all the things you do become national news. और वो national news जो आने वाला है कल, वो आज मिनिस्ट्री में IFS ऑफिसर्स बैठ के उस पर डिसीजन ले रहे हैं, डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं. दैट इज़ वन पार्ट, दैट वाज वन एक्साइटिंग पार्ट. Apart from that, I'd say IFS provides you an opportunity to actually go and live in places which you would never live in otherwise. For example, right now I'm going on my first posting to Paris, and I can never imagine living in Paris for so many years and looking at the culture there and seeing how people are there. And काफ़ी बार इंडिया में रह के हमारा पर्सपेक्टिव थोड़ा इंडियन हो जाता है. एज बाय इंडियन आई मीन दैट इट बिकम्स a little narrow as to we are not able to think how other people from other countries are thinking. And being in IFS, you get that global perspective and you realize how things work throughout the world. Also, that is one thing, you get to travel a lot. Your life becomes very adventurous, very exciting. If you're more into adventure, you can get posted to very risky places also, which is very exciting. And apart from that, I think IFS का काफ़ी behind the curtains job होता है. Whatever news we are seeing, you know, for example, as I said एक बार पहले, that अभी रिसेंटली अफ्रीका से इंडिया गॉट चीताज, राइट? So how do you think that cheetahs came from Africa to India? Behind that were IFS officers doing the negotiations, right? Or how do you think Japan is investing in a bullet train in India? Behind that were IFS officers who are doing these negotiations. So anything, आप prelims के लिए बहुत सारे अपने current affairs में पढ़ते होंगे कि ये डिफेंस एक्सरसाइज हो रही है, ये डील साइन हुई, USA के साथ 4 डील साइन हो गई. All these